Oh, I apparently never used this Poké Center before. Since Cypher's getting drawn out, and this recording session is gonna be a mess, isn't it? Man, I can't even talk and I think I'm up to doing this. Green interwebs, it's Jackie K. I'm hoping for another edition of Pokémon XG Next Gen. Last time, after running around with our heads cut off, we finally figured out how to get the outskirts stand, facing off against Mirror B, and an old nostalgic face. That dude in particular. Today, I actually remembered. Let's see what the dealio with this Shadow Togepi is. That's so weird. I was so convinced that it wasn't actually going to be a Togepi, because the mods changed practically everything else. Though yikes, the fact this thing is already our highest level Pokemon. Weakens evil moves. If I did, I completely forgot, but I never did look into... I feel like I did, and I think that includes shadow moves as well as dark and ghost types, but I don't remember for sure. Okay, sorry Sableye. I had everything set up to have you be our shadow Pokemon until we got the Snag Machine back, but this one has a lot of new toys to play around with. Shadow... One, I wonder what region the developer of this mod comes from. 2, okay, a shadow version of Tri-Attack. That could actually be interesting, considering one of the biggest downfalls of Tri-Attack, in my opinion, is that it's normal type, so you never really use it if you're going exclusively for super effective damage. This is the polar opposite of that. Shadow Star, just healing. Interesting. Shadow Madness. The Aurora surrounds the foe and has its HP. Reminds me of a move from the original XD. But that's definitely a different name, and definitely not as accurate. Shadow Guard, okay, it is just to glorify Protect. Which would be cool if we had Ellie with an Earthquake or like move, but not really going back to Bulldoze after getting not one but 2 different moves. I don't think I've ever had a chance to express in commentary the irony of finally getting that TM, only to immediately get a better ground type move via level up. That irony was not lost on me, at least when I was editing. And I was in such a rush to get out of here because just how much mess. Oh, thanks but no thanks. I can barely run around in 80-degree weather. I doubt I can do it in the desert. Right now, Canyon, we found the building that was Snake and Gang's hideout. I heard that he broke up a long time ago, but I have this feeling that there's people out there. Maybe it's the Ghost Team. I'm never gonna get used to calling them Snaggle Game and not Team Snag'em. Besides the little guy, there's main Pokemon that were turned to Shadow Pokemon in Cypress Key Lair. My desperation to flee, I wasn't able to save the others. Still have my conscience, wondering what had become the other Pokemon. If only there was some way of saving them. Jeez, if only there was a device that could just allow us to specifically take Shadow Pokemon from people misusing them. But of course, something like that never existed. Alright, I guess that we're going into Snag'em Hideout now. Much as I would like some money for more Pokeballs, I also realized that... Trust you've been doing well. I'm proud to announce the reopening of Ragam Coliseum following extensive maintenance. Cool. Could have used you, during the months of intermission in between parts, just to have something new to do. But at least I was able to finally go through every single battle in Pirate Coliseum. That being said, if you've been ignoring the filler episodes, because I don't necessarily blame you. But yeah, if you missed out on it, off-screen, I've done every single set of battles in Pirate Coliseum, and as of recording this, the only thing I've recorded and uploaded all but the final round of it. Saying that out loud just reminded me that I still have to do that, so thank you. I'm gonna thank myself for reminding myself, but considering how much of a struggle it was to just post-commentate Battle Bingo of all things, I am not in a rush to do that today. Let's go for Sharpedo, because one-hit move would probably be pretty neat in of itself, and yeah. Let's try out our new toy. Our new Pokemon. The Pokemon's not the toy, the moves that it has is. Very important distinction, because Pokemon are friends, not to— Ooh, wow, that was a lot of purification from just sending it out once. Also, I made the right call there. Let's see, gonna go for the— which of these two would be the bigger threat? Hurricane? Shell Star? Oh, that is self-healing, because why wouldn't it be? But that gives me an idea, like if there was a Heal Pulse-like move, this would be the game to implement it in. I was gonna say, we're not even gonna get to see Shell Star in action, but that is definitely not gonna be the case. That's a very interesting animation. I like it, but I also find it silly and strange. Oh, and of course I don't have Discharge. May or may not have specifically been bringing out Congener to take advantage of that, but... Right, we haven't even tried out Shadow Colors yet either. So that takes care of you. And let's see what this fancy little move is about. Cause... I kind of forgot the 60 power isn't really that strong anymore. But we could have gotten one of the status effects on it, and that would have been worth it in of itself. Man, I really wish I had Discharge. Now that we have a Pokemon that has a Protect-like move on our team, though, maybe now would be the time to swap the moves around. So let's see, just for now though, Thunderbolt you. This is healing, this is Protect. Guess we can see what Shadow Madness is like. Assuming I survive, I just realized Togepi is part fairy. Oof, oof. I wasn't even really thinking as well as I should. I'm just like, oh, Togepi! Completely forgot that fairy is an implementation in this game. And that poison will be super effective against fairy, or just flat out, for some reason I was thinking Togepi was just a normal type. But it is a fairy type. One of the many, many excuses, I mean reasons. They would add up eventually. Let's see, so Hyper Voice should at least take out the Arbok. And maybe I'll get lucky and they'll try to go for Togepi because they're like, come on, there's no way that Togepi should have survived that poison tail. I'm gonna gang up on it just to make sure that we actually take it out this time. So if not, I kind of banking on the fact that Survivor will be going after the Togepi and not the Arbok. Let's see how it pans out. Not the move I was expecting, but it is indeed the results I was expecting, so all's well that ends well. Not exactly the point that I really needed to crit kind of generate, but appreciate all the same. Oh, and so with Team Snake, of all people, you don't mind giving weird names like Snake. Because they're bad guys, so of course they should have evil names. Don't mind me just observing a text box that probably was missing a plus or something. We've been using the Snag Machine to steal the OP Pokemon from Cypher. I almost feel sorry for whichever punks the higher up going to Snag, for whichever punk let the higher ups going to Snag Machine so that dialogue is just completely new and different in of itself, and I just need a minute to figure out how that guy's processing it all. We could probably offset the whole weakness of the shadow colors by giving that Aurora booster. And well, you know, let's just talk about how I need more Pokeballs, so nice to have that. And don't mind me, I'm also probably going through trauma of... What's a Snag Machine? I'm just saying, probably going for a little trauma from the whole Coliseum post-game. Because, like, the post-game's always been the worst part of Pokemon Coliseum as a whole for me. And while the refined mechanics of the... even if not refined and just overall more to it, mechanics of Pokemon XD are the main reasons that I prefer it over Coliseum, I probably would appreciate Coliseum a bit more if its post-game wasn't so convoluted. Like, in the end, it doesn't matter because it's not... obviously, the post-game isn't an issue until you get, well, into the post-game. But it's kind of embarrassing of all the times I've LP'd or just played Pokemon Coliseum as a whole, I've never actually beaten the post-game. Like, I think the last time I've ever bothered with the post-game of Pokemon Coliseum was the first time I ever played the game growing up. Maybe on a replay for I did before getting to YouTube, but it's kind of embarrassing that there's just never been a full... technically a full playthrough of Pokemon Coliseum on my channel, despite the number of times I've attempted to play it. It just worked out that way. That randomizer was going to be the time, but as I mentioned in the beginning of this playthrough, I was not replaying the part of the post-game that I did get through, just to get back up to where I left off and finish it all off. It just was not worth it for me. Which is a bit of a shame because I do like the post-game ending of Coliseum, which might as well talk about here because at this point in my life, we're probably never getting up. Probably won't be on YouTube long enough to actually do another playthrough of Pokemon Coliseum. In the end, there's a whole arc where someone impersonating you goes around and does stuff with their own shadow Pokemon to frame you as using the shadow Pokemon that you snag to harass people all across the town. Circle Throw on Gligar was not a move I was expecting to see today. If ever. Cool. I forgot to stock up on antidotes before coming over here. Also, I didn't realize the Gligar also had that sort of move. Do we go for Hyper Voice to clear everyone off, or Hurricane for solid damage before anyone else can hit? Let's see how the prior goes. I was just thinking, you know I have the wise ones, but maybe I'm pushing my luck, and wouldn't you know? Also, I just realized that means I'm gonna end up hitting a flying type or a fighting type move, because that was definitely aimed at my Yana before it just took care of itself for me. Oof. Well, Taylor Swift, you had a good run. You did a lot, all things considered. It's up to me to just figure out how the heck I'm gonna get out of this situation, though. Like the whole arc and the ending of the post-game of Coliseum that leaves up with a battle against yourself, and just how it explains how your reputation's been ruined forever. And I would say that it would be a good lead-up into this game. If it wasn't for the fact that if you go around talking to the NPCs afterwards, you kind of redeem yourself after your battle gets the duplicate, or the impersonator gets aired on television for all to see. And that would explain why Wes was not in is not in this game at all. I'll finish my thought, let me take care of this. As I was saying though, I'm not sure if because of what happens after that ending, if Wes fully gets redeemed, or it's just a few select NPCs that you see that have that sort of interaction, therefore still leaving the door open of, like, Wes not really wanting to be a part of society after defeating Snagum, because he kind of was betrayed about... Oh shoot, I breezed through the dialogue. They're probably explaining why everyone has the stupid names. Well, at least I have the joy of being able to go back and watch that glorious cutscene take place in editing. But I'm like, not even the Cypher admins were this out of whack. And like, geez, my god, I just got this Togepi and it's almost fully purified already. Like, I shouldn't be complaining, but I will. I think there is a thing that's too fast when the whole concept of the Shadow Pokemon is to play around with them a bit as Shadow Pokemon. Because if otherwise, what's the point of having them Shadow Pokemon if you can just instantly purify them all right away? At least I don't have to worry about the Togepi not getting experience or anything like that. Let's just see how the Shadow colors go and see how I feel from there. Haven't really had luck with the secondary effect of the move. Be cool if the thing has Serene Grace, but alas. Though that makes me think. Let me finish making some moves and go from there. I don't think I've ever tried using an ability capsule on a Shadow Pokemon, and it kind of makes me wonder if that would mean if I could actually do that. My mindset would be no, because you typically can't use items like TMs, and I assume the concept of that is so they don't want you to mess around with the Pokemon until it's fully purified. But I kind of wonder if it could be a possible oversight. I was not a fan of how that played out. Like, I love the fact that Shadow Madness worked so well, but I was not happy that the Citrus Berry practically undid all my hard-earned damage. Shoot, I think I went for Air Slash. I was going to go for Hurricane, but I think I chose Air Slash instead. Oof. Sorry, Talon Swift. If I would have realized that was the move I was going for, I would have just gone with the Tauros and get you some experience. Also, speaking of things I forget, I think I forgot to mess around with TMs and give counter-generate discharge. Hindsight is hindsight. Well, at least we were able to see all of Togepi's moves and actions before we inevitably purify it. Oh, I forgot it was a spiky shield and not just a normal protect. It's been so long since I actually pulled it off. Speaking of noticing all the text overflows, I'll just say no more. I kinda wanna go for it twice. But you know, I do have all these healing items. If I'm so insistent on making sure that Togepi doesn't faint, this would be a good time to remember that I do have all these nice healing items that could do the job for me, especially if I know I have a healing move on this Togepi, but that Tauros is fast, my friend. Case in point. In hindsight, okay, I thought I went into Ellie and I was like, why did I do that with a water type on the field? But I guess my mind is a little lost today, just not in the way I was expecting. Lucky for me, Togepi was there to take the blow. But I already forgot that it had the poison move on hand. No, this is not. This is the worst time to have Rage Mobius thing. Well, at least we can get this out of it all. Wow, I barely was able to take the Togepi for one dungeon. Okay, I would say at least it's safe to bring Funlin back in there, but that cross poison, man, that cross poison just throws a monkey wrench into practically everything. Goodbye. Gangster Zol. See. Not letting anyone tougher than me join the Snag'em gang. Came here because he promised to pay me for travel and lunch. Why do I need a crazy nickname? No antidotes, but maybe I can save a full restore by... Yeah, it's not a lot, but it'll do for now. Let's at least see what we got in here. Nice. And you know what? I'm trying to keep these a little closer to 20 to 30 minute range, so I can actually consistently upload them twice a week. So I'll stall for time and see what I can clear on here before getting another battle. That's good enough. Next time on Pokemon XG Next Gen, we're going to continue for Snag'em Hideout and get our Snag Machine back. Let's see if ability capsules can be used on Shadow Pokemon. It can. I'm not sure if it would be worth it because Pure Heart might be a better move after it's purified, but glad to quench the curiosity that is a thing. Considering the way Shadow Pokemon can't be TM'd, I'm kind of impressed that the game let me do that. Even though my team is pretty solid with moves and all that, it still feels a bit of a waste of an ability capsule, so BRB. Until then, take care.